how mountain men built shelters to survive deadly blizzards and more. In the quiet of long winters, mountain men learned to listen to the land. They chose places where trees stood close and the ground felt steady. With calm hands, they shaped small shelters from logs and packed earth. Snow was not feared. It was welcomed, pressed gently along the walls for warmth. Roofs were low and simple, holding the heat like a held breath. Inside, the air was still, and the light was soft, and the world outside felt far away. They worked slowly, never rushing, letting each motion find its place. Branches were laid with care, and gaps were filled with moss and pine needles. The shelter became part of the hillside, quiet and patient. A small fire rested in the center, its warmth spreading in a steady way. The wind passed overhead without entering. The night moved on, and the shelter stayed calm, like a closed eye beneath falling snow. As darkness settled deeper, the shelter offered rest and balance. Outside, the cold wandered among the trees, while inside there was a gentle hush. Breath slowed, thoughts softened. The walls held steady, and the roof listened to the snow. Time loosened its grip. In that simple space, warmth remained, and the quiet grew wider, and the night continued slow and kind, until everything felt light and still and calm. In the long stretch of winter nights, mountain men learned to trust quiet routines. They gathered wood during calm hours, stacking it neatly near the shelter wall. Each piece was chosen for how slowly it would burn. Smoke rose in a thin, patient line, fading into the dark sky. Inside, the fire whispered softly, never demanding attention. The shelter stayed warm in a gentle way, like a slow heartbeat beneath heavy blankets of snow. Their days moved with the light, unhurried and simple. Snow was brushed from the doorway with steady hands. Tracks outside softened as fresh flakes fell. Inside, tools rested against the wall, silent and ready. The air carried the scent of pine and earth. Nothing needed to be changed. Nothing needed to be said. The shelter held its shape, and the night held its breath, and both seemed to agree to remain calm together. As hours passed, the world grew quieter still. The fire dimmed to glowing embers, resting without effort. Shadows lay gently along the walls. Thoughts drifted without weight, like clouds moving across a pale moon. The shelter remained strong and still, offering peace without asking for it. Outside, the storm slowly lost its voice. Inside, warmth lingered, steady and kind. As the night stretched on, smooth and endless, fading softly into silence. When the wind grew tired and slowed its steps, the shelter stayed patient. Snow leaned against the walls, adding a quiet layer of protection. The mountain men rested inside, feeling the steady warmth settle around them. Their shelters were shaped to hold silence, to soften the sharp edge of cold nights. The wood creaked gently, like a slow stretch, and then became still again. Morning did not rush in. Light arrived softly, filtered through snow and branches. The shelter held the night a little longer, allowing calm to remain. breath rose and fell in an easy rhythm. Outside sounds were distant and dull. Inside, the space felt balanced and whole. Nothing pressed for attention. Time moved slowly, like a river under ice, unseen but steady. As the hours drifted onward, the shelter continued its quiet work. Warmth stayed close, cold stayed outside. Thoughts became lighter, then thinner, then barely there at all. The walls stood firm without effort. The roof rested under snow without complaint. The world felt gentle and unbroken. In that stillness, everything eased, and the quiet spread wider, softer, until only calm remained, lingering quietly in the dark. As the night deepened once more, the shelter continued to offer its quiet strength. The walls, shaped by steady hands, held warmth without sound. Snow settled softly along the roof, resting there like a slow sigh. Inside, the air remained calm and even. Each breath felt untroubled. The outside world seemed distant, wrapped in layers of white and silence. The mountain men moved little during these hours. Stillness was part of surviving. The fire was kept low, its glow mild and patient. Shadows rested along the wooden walls, never shifting too quickly. The shelter felt grounded, rooted to the land beneath it. Wind brushed past without entering. Cold lingered beyond the doorway, unable to cross the quiet boundary that had been carefully made. Time loosened and stretched in a gentle way. The shelter asked for nothing and gave steady comfort in return. Snow continued to fall, soft and forgiving. Inside, warmth stayed close, and thoughts slowed until they barely moved at all. The night held everything in balance. The shelter remained silent and sure, cradling calm within its simple shape, while the darkness outside softened, and the quiet settled deeper, fading slowly into peaceful stillness. The shelter remains quiet as the hours drift onward. Snow rests gently against the walls, no longer falling, only listening. Inside, the space feels settled and complete. The wood holds its warmth with ease. The air is soft and steady. Each breath moves without effort, rising and falling like a slow tide under moonlight. Nothing stirs in a hurry. The fire has eased into a faint glow, calm and patient. Shadows lie still, as if they too are resting. Outside, the mountains stand silent, wrapped in pale light. Inside, there is a feeling of safety, simple and unspoken. Thoughts wander less now, slowing as they pass, becoming lighter with each moment. Time fades into a gentle blur. The shelter continues to protect, without sound or motion. Warmth remains. Silence deepens. The night feels wide and kind, holding everything in balance. There is nothing to do, nothing to decide. Only this quiet space, this steady calm, this soft darkness that asks for nothing. The world feels distant and peaceful, and the moment stretches on, smooth and unbroken, until the words arrive at last, low and tender, like a final breath in the dark. Good night.